Alright, I want to do a quick tutorial, just a few reminders about electron configuration so that as you're preparing for our upcoming test, you have an example to work from. So remember, our first step is that we always want to identify where it is on the periodic table. I'm going to use arsenic as an example because it's one that does involve the P block, so we make sure and see some of those exceptions and patterns in the periodic table. Remember, the first two columns are the P block. The transition elements, we have the D block. These ones down below, those are the F block elements. And then over here we have the P block. Those are significant with where our final electrons are going to be. So remember, we always start at the beginning in the first row. The rows or periods on the periodic table represent the energy levels that have electrons. So if we continue across the rows on the periodic table, we are filling up our correct rule of filling the lower energy levels first. So if I'm going to keep writing down everything I pass until I get to arsenic, that will mean I've placed all the correct numbers of electrons. So first I pass 1s2, then I go into row 2 and I pass 2s2. I will continue across and pass 2p6. Come down to the next row for 3s2, over here to 3p6, continuing on to 4s2. Now here's where we have a small exception. That top row is energy level 3. So that's actually 3d10. The third energy level is the first energy level that has a D sublevel. Continuing on, I then go 4p1, 2, and 3. Now if I count up, arsenic should have 33 electrons. I have 2, 4, 10 at this point, 12, 18, 20, 30, and 33. So I do have my full 33 electrons. Also, I can make some conclusions about my valence electrons. We see electrons in the 4s and the 4p. 2 plus 3 equals 5 valence electrons, which is a good thing because arsenic is in group 5a, and that is how many valence electrons it should have. So we can confirm that looking at this electron configuration. Lastly, it's helpful to know how to do the shorthand. There were a lot of things to write down there, and we do have a shorthand to be able to write that out. Remember to do shorthand. You're going to identify, if this was our arsenic, we're going to find the noble gas the row before. So by writing argon in brackets, we're taking the place of the electron configuration for that whole first part. So argon in brackets is representing 1s2 all the way through 3p6. At that point, I simply pick up where I left off, and that will complete my shorthand electron configuration. If you have any questions, make sure you email me or see me in class, and be sure to double check this as a reference you can use to identify that.